All right, according to the technology at hand, I should be live. Now, I've kind of gone through any kind of issues with my microphone and everything. It's not the USB hub. It most likely is the fact that I'm still using Windows 10 and there's just no more support out there for me. So if I have to switch to the cam today and use its microphone, just remind me not to close the cam to save battery. And so, or it could very well be a Rumble issue in the moment at the time. There's still a lot of bugs on Rumble. And so the reason why this one has a double X on it is because it's really more or less a makeup for last week. I don't know what I'm going to do with that footage. I have it downloaded. Sometimes you make a stream and the quality of the stream itself is just too low quality to keep on, you know. I don't want to, even though I will admit that I am a 2-bit operation, and by backwater 2-bit operation, I don't have time to be everywhere at once. Sometimes I've got to be my own tech guy. I had a couple of people over yesterday, and one of them told me about the driver's issue, and then this guy, I watched a couple videos. I got up at 6 in the morning, watched a couple videos, and the one video I watched, even though it was only like 5 minutes long, he went through a laundry list of, here are your devices, here's how to access your devices, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's like 5 minutes for this guy, that's a 20-minute endeavor for me for each line item and everything. So, you'll have to bear with me. There is a new computer in the works, and I want to thank the patrons for that. I've kind of saved up all that money over the course of this year for that computer and everything. And it looks like I was told you're just gonna have to make the jump to Windows 11. I have to get, I think it's bullshit that you have to get microshafted. And I've already said the S word, and so I'm gonna be algorithmically demoted there. So no 200 likes for me because I made a video. I was looking at my last video, my tournament battle report video that I did, which was the last video that I put up on YouTube. And I was just kind of looking that over, and I thought it was kind of hilarious how it only got to 80 likes. But the salt is real. I've got I've got almost 20 dislikes on it. Oh, he won a tournament. He was using a broken list. That's such bullshit. All right. And I like how the salt on that is real. I do come to YouTube to mine salt. But hopefully when Section 230 gets reformed by the great Donald himself, when he goes after the social media companies, maybe the Pajeets in India that watch my channel to algorithmically demote me for saying the word Pajeet or using the word Africans and not calling them BIPOC people or whatever, they'll remove the jackboot of YouTube from the back of my neck, and maybe this channel can grow again. Maybe I will get to 5K, and that would make me very happy. That was the original goal, and I wonder if I could get to 5K when I started the channel. Now here I am, still a backwater with tech that doesn't work, playing shitty games like one-page rules. I mean, I will take one-page rules over the current rendition of 40K, but the problem I have is that like every fucking system my friends just turn when they turn over the new leaf, they're already going right to competitive fucking builds, and they're like, well, that's your fault for not studying the game and doing your diligence. Like, in what fucking world? Now, I did read the rules, all right? The game is very easy to play. I like that. But in what fucking world do I have time to look over my entire fucking roster for Orcs and find what's good? I've been down here 1 hour a night over the course of this week. I did not come down here Thursday or Friday. I did the things that I was supposed to do. I finished all 5 of these knobs right here. All right? They're all done. I got to do the next yesterday, after games ended, I worked for 2.5 hours prepping the last of the army. making sure that I had models to kind of to put the to represent 5 extra commandos, because you can't run commandos in a unit of 5. And I wanted to put them, what do you call it? I wanted to put the commandos that I had in that box into this army lot that I've got going on here. And so, as it stands now, I'm going to be able to breeze through 20 Ork Boys, get to the next 5 knobs, do the commandos, and then do the bikes. I have a buddy of my buddy's going to spray prime the last Ork, what do you call it, Death Dread for me, because it was assembled by a child, a literal child, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not pry the arms off of that dreadnought. So it needs a little bit of airbrush work, and I also spent like a week, it seems like, cutting flashing off of that Death Dread. This rescue project has been going well, but it's kind of bogged down. So hopefully get rid of 30 boys, 10 commandos, and 20 boys. Get into the bikers, and once they're done, do 2 more units of boys, and the army's finished. And that should be everything. So it's good to see some of you here. Coronite, Fox, Hussar General, Historical Doppelganger, and Logan Swanson. Long time no see. I know, I think I might have a microphone issue on Rumble. I'm not sure. That's kind of what I narrowed it down to, because I did do a quick private test stream, and I noticed I had that feedback, and I don't seem to be getting it from YouTube. So I don't know if it's a Rumble issue. I don't know if it's a driver's issue. And I damn sure don't know if it's a Windows, you're not on Windows 11 and I'm being micro-shafted issue. I am not a tech genius. I can figure a lot of shit out. Like when I got the FBI ransomware virus, I watched a video on my phone and had that solved. I had it solved in like an hour. Boom. Punched in that code. Which is like, I want to say probably 65% of tech support is just knowing your command prompt and what command prompts to use at the given time. So I better drink this before it gets cold. As long as things are going good, I mean, let's talk about one-page rules, which is what we played yesterday and a couple weekends ago. Now, I had a nightmare game the other weekend with my buddy Coronite. We played Old World, and it took us like 3 hours because we got interrupted by my neighbor who needed his car moved. And we coined the phrase, "At least it's a bug," and we could push it uphill and downhill where it needed to be for this. My neighbor, I think he's almost 80. And I do know he uses oxygen from time to time. So he was never going to move that car. Now the car's right back next to my pickup truck because it's leaking gas. I don't know if he wants to restore it. I think he'll get it done. He usually likes to have a project. He does the garden on the side of my house, and that's really nice of him and everything. But every time we came back, and this just shows you how shitty the book is for Old World, is every time we came back, it was literally like Obi-Wan Kenobi waking up on the Death Star and not knowing where he was. And we had no idea what part of the term we were in. And again, I stand by my statement that magic needs to be relegated to its own phase. The command phase is bullshit. You should start with movement, declare all your charges, magic, shooting, then close combat. And then you switch over the turn. And you bring your 1 level 4 and that's it. I can't wait to see this tournament pack, because maybe when you read this book, it's like a patch, a much needed 1.5 version patch when they release the new competitive play supplement or campaign. I don't know I haven't even seen it. I don't even remember what it's called. If somebody knows what it's called, you can put it in the chat. But maybe, it's very convoluted. It's very wonky. And fantasy, just unless you play it all the time, you're never going to know what's going to happen. So I need to kind of change that. I need to go to playing fantasy all the time so that I know. And I'm actually itching for another game of Conquest, but that's another, all I'm trying to do is memorize. Initially this year, all I was trying to do was memorize 3 systems. That was Conquest, Warhammer the Old World, and what was that other game I'm always playing? I guess 30K. That's it. And I can't even keep those in there because there aren't a lot of players. It's like everybody just plays 40K. But hopefully that changes. And why would I want that to change? Because, Games Workshop, they've gotten kind of greedy. I will admit that. And now there are other games like one-page rules. And this game does work. I just don't know what's good for Orcs. So if there's anyone out there playing one-page rules, let me know. Because I would like to... I would like the down low on this, or I guess I'll just have to sit down and read what's good. But you don't. Let me see something here. I'm just doing this as a litmus test. Of course, I got all my bullshit in the way here. All right, I'll have to type over that. Give me 1 second here. Bullshit. This is bullshit. I wonder what pulls up when you read Grimdark. Okay, so people are playing it. Oh, this is right in my niche, though. I do like this. I do like this because, I'm not seeing a lot of channels out there with more than 2K views that are actually doing battle reports. And I'm only looking at battle reports there. If some big channel did something on this, I don't really care what they did, You notice how the big channels aren't playing it. I see a stupid short video of those dudes up in Canada. What's his name? I don't know his name. Oh, Mini Wargamer Dave with his fucking insane amount of figures. It's like, oh, look, I have all my wealth tied up in an army. Whatever. Then you got that douchebag from Eons of Battle. He's talking about something. But at least they're not turning up at the top. I will take that. I will take that. I just did a simple search in my search engine, and I'm seeing channels I've never seen before, which is nice. Which means that there are real gamers out there again, And at least the system, you get your cards and then you look at your special rules. I do like the layout. Let me just see let me just bring this up real quick. So my other Marauders list, I have to make an account, so I've got like an Ultra Boss. And the way it lays out is he's got a carbon that's got 2 attacks. So he's taking 2 shots at you. And then you just know you're a bad shot if you're Orc, so you hit on 5s. Then you have Warning Cry, which keeps ambushers off of your ass. And then you have an Ultra Claw, which gives you 4 attacks. So the Ultra Boss Leader will have 4 attacks. And that's AP4. That's really good. And then you have the Tough Rule, which is 6 wounds. You have Furious, which means you have exploding 5s in combat. And some of the Orcs have exploding 6s in the shooting phase. So, and you have an alternate activation. I do like that alternate activation. There is some advanced rules. I guess I might want to tune onto that website and buy the book, but it's not bloated. The game is not bloated. That's That's absolutely important. Whereas you sit down for a game of Old World, you have better put on your wizard's hat. You had better put on your wizard's hat because the game is bloated as shit. Um, the rules work. I will say that the special rules for the armies work. And you do know what the other armies have because it's only 3 books. That is an advantage over 40K, and you don't really have to study other people's arcane journals. That's a huge plus and a step in the right direction. Same with 30K. You have the Heretic book, you have the Loyalist book, and then you have I have the what do you call it book. I have a supplement myself that covers Imperial Guard crap. So there's like, you keep it down to 7 books. So I don't know why they can't go to a similar system for 40K and shit like that. And I have to sit down and watch a little bit of battle reports because even though it's only 1 page, which it is, I've got it sitting right over there. It's like a page and a half. I mean, the way that the cards work, because like Army Builder for Old World, you just go into an overview and then you can click on each unit. So I have Ultra Bosses 3, which really kind of pisses me off because my Mega Knobs don't have a 2+ save and they're 270 points, but they do have, you got 9 attacks for 3 of these guys. One thing I kind of hate is that you can't increase the amount of guys in a unit just by pushing a button. You have to combine units. You can do a combined unit of 6 Ultra Bosses or something like that. Bad Shot, Furious. Furious is that. And I already know what the rules do. So the ease of use is really good. I think Games Workshop dropped the ball when they didn't hire this guy. And that's Games Workshop's loss because now he's doing his own thing. Let me just see something here. Another little Google search here. That's GW's loss because they always turn down good things. They turned down the creator of Flames of War. And Flames of War is a real bullshit. Let me see here. What company owns Flames of War? Battlefront. Okay, yeah. Battlefront is a real no bullshit company / competitor of Games Workshop, They missed an easy $5 million. They weren't even going to be out $1 million to support that game, and Games Workshop told the guy no. And then he made the game. I remember when Flames of War burst onto the scene. They made the game, and they're still going strong today. I would have to give that. I would actually put Battlefront on par with just above Warlord Games. I would seriously put them in as a number 2 competitor to Games Workshop. And then you have the weirdos that are still all playing BattleTech and everything. And they could be a competitor if just one person owned all that IP. But what is that? Where would you, the chat, place Flames of War on a scale of 1 to 5 in the top 5 games? I easily put them in the top 5 tabletop games. Just Flames of War alone. I do know a lot of people play Team Yankee. They do like themselves some Team Yankee. Because it's a game where you can actually, it almost like here, it doesn't matter what state you go to, you can probably find someone who plays Flames of War. And you could, World War II gaming is a thing. But getting back on track here, I'm just curious. Yeah, he's got 34,000. He's almost got 35,000 members on his Patreon. And so that's GW missing another opportunity. I think, isn't this guy American? I think he's American. You know, and GW, again, they will not hire talent from the Commonwealths. We've talked about this on stream. We've talked about this on the show. There are certain people who really get 40K. They just, they're wizards. There are certain painters out there. They will not hire American talent because we're from the Commonwealth. We are considered to be lesser. They will not hire Canadians. Sure, you can go and work in their stores, but they will not hire you for a writing and or painting role or a sculpting role. They will not hire you. They only hire the same inbred talent inside of the UK, and that's a huge weakness to Games Workshop because they're excluding what? People who don't have the brain fog of being inbred. I don't know. You got to be right from Nottingham, and you have to be a 6-foot mutant that crawls out of the rough side of the trench, I guess, you know. But let's go into chat here. You're restoring a car? That's pretty cool. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's pushing 80. I don't think he's quite 80 yet. He might be 77. I'm glad I've got some carpet in my house, but it's been cold, and I am not looking forward to this month's gas bill. It's been a cold November. We have gotten a very cold winter. All right. So nobody's talking about that, but you know, this is just another example of Games Workshop dropping the ball, not wanting to hire somebody who has good ideas to write rules, and so. You know, when I've played the game, and then when they give me their special rules and I'm playing the game, I kind of know what they have. A lot of the Marines that my friends are using have 2+ saves, ambush. I already know what, and you can alpha strike turn 1 with ambush, which is fine, but it does kind of suck it. So you know, I mean, I'm gonna go and spend my money over there and get myself the full book. Why not buy the full book for 1-page rules? It's not going to break my bank. You know, I can use models that I already own, and this is the thing that Games Workshop is opening up to, because you go back to 2008, they were, unless you were playing Bolt Action or Flames of War, they were King Dick. They've been King Dick for so long that they're not going to be able to accept not being King Dick, you know, out there. And that's what Games Workshop is going to have to accept pretty soon here, because now people are vigorously 3D printing their models. I do think, like, there is a little bit of overreach on, we've talked about the Kill Team box set and everything, about how there's a little bit of overreach on when you go and you buy Kill Team and you're spending $80 on one of those box, $75 to $80 for 10 guys, and you're supposed to be the benchmark into the hobby. Then if that's, I mean, you should just put Kill Team in specialist games. You already have Combat Patrol, so why would you waste your money on Kill Team? Can anybody answer that in chat? Why would you waste your money on Kill Team if you already have Combat Patrol? And it works. Combat Patrol looks fun. It will take, you know, but you have people who are playing like these 2,000-point games, and it's taken 3 hours for Old World, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't, you know. So there were some people that I said that Games Workshop should have hired back in the day. Some just from the Canadian standpoint, give them the Mountain Miniatures guy, get him on board. Yeah, he's played, and my hat's off to him. What's his name? Stephen B. DeMarco from Mountain Wargaming. Him and that Luca guy have played more fucking games of every version of fantasy out there than anyone else on the internet. That's like on the job training. You know, if you wanted to put a patch on something and kind of write a 1.5 version, bring them in. Bring them in for a 6-month job. It's like, here, this job lasts for 6 months, and after taxes, you will make $21,000. All right? And we're only taking what, 20 hours worth of work from your busy schedule. You don't need to sign an NDA. Go ahead, do your YouTube streams. Hey, maybe give some teasers. It doesn't need to all be top secret, but you can't pay for that. You can't pay for that type of experience. If you can't pay for that type of experience, it's your company's loss, and it's to your detriment. Would anybody disagree with me on that? It is to your detriment that you're not paying for that. You know, there's a guy, real big 40K player. He has a YouTube channel. His name's $1 Billion Clown Farm. He seems to know what's up as far as like the rules go. You know, he's got like a degree in 40K. Why not bring him in there to patch up the edition? You got some people out there who really are. They just become great rules lawyers every single edition, but they won't hire these people to take a job in writing. You know, it's like, here, we're going to hire you for 6 months, after which, like, the pay could be, you know, you could pay somebody what? $30,000, which is nothing. That is nothing for a 6-month gig in development. And then just push them out the door when they're done, and then bring them back for the next project. You know, you can't hire mercenary talent to write rules. And I think it's been to their detriment that we have some old sweat writers at GW who are still there. I think Matt Ward still writes for the game. He just does so under an alias. You know, like the Oath of Moment special rule really does seem like a Matt Ward kind of bullshit rule that was put when they first introduced Oath of Moment. It was the most broken shit ever. Then they toned it down. Then they toned it down again. And then they come out with a codex. And then they have to FAQ the points immediately next day. And then it's like, here, we're going to make, and then when they come out with Orcs finally, it's like, oh, if you're using our app, you actually have to buy the book now. Nothing's free anymore. It's like, we can't give you this information, you know. So it's like, you're gonna see a nice big shift to like unpublished living books rather than published books, unless you have a fixed system. 30K I still think works, but you need to have some toys, you know, against some evil bastards that play that fucking game. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I still have to look into Trench Crusade. We were talking about that last time you were down. Way more affordable approach to Necromunda, and even some of their specialist games that are you know, Necromunda, that doesn't need, you know, it doesn't need to be a starting point in the hobby. Again, they don't, and it's like a marketing thing. Here we have this game, it's called Combat Patrol, and we've kind of balanced it, you know. And you can stack your combat patrols, and I think you would have a funner time of just playing 2 boxes side by side of combat patrol. You got the Marine box, you got the Orc box, and you got 2 Marine boxes, 2 Orc boxes. You would have a better time. It wouldn't be overwhelming, you know. Okay, you'll have to elaborate. Their trademark for historicals. Their older Waterloo rules could be ported to AWI. What is that? Is that Ancient Warhammer or ACW? Fairly easily, I think, with a few tweaks. Okay, I just don't know what the acronyms are for that. Ancient... I don't know what AWI is. I'm being a boomer. They do have a good old boys club mentality, but you'll notice they'll hire some woman out of the blue because they're a woke fucking company, you know. I mean, American War of Independence. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. I've been a minute since I've looked at anything historical. I should have known that. And American Civil War, I know what that is. There we go. Uh, so, I mean, and this is a company that the Ranger has that book. I'll have to call him, see if he can ship that book to me. They had an English Civil War supplement, and they were making figures for it back then, you know. But, I mean, every game kind of has its flaws. And, you know, Warhammer the Old World is no different. And I don't mind it having flaws. I think it's good, you know. So in this edition, you've got Bretonnians, Tomb Kings, Warriors of Chaos, and what's another army that seems to... and Vampire Counts. They're kind of up there in terms of tier. And then you have the whole Dragon Hammer element. That's fine. That's all fine. 6th edition, it had its top tier armies. If you were to ask me what 6th edition army would I play if I wanted to win my games frequently, I would go right back to my Lizardmen. I would go and buy I'd buy 2 boxes of skinks, paint those up for my army, and then they'd all have blowpipes, so I'd be bringing... My Lizardman army was basically the best slant for 6th edition, was basically a giant fucking brick of Temple Guard, 5 to 6 units of... I'd had 4 units of skinks, 1 unit of chameleon skinks, and then 2 units of Croxagors. That was my entire army. And then I had, 2 skink priests. So that it was like, and then you got to go through, you could choose every magic missile out of the entire book, and you should be like 2d6 strength 4, d6 strength 5, d6 strength 4, d6 strength 4 again. Oh, what was that? I miscast? Indigestion. Let's do that again. And you had 8 dice to yourself, and every time you tried to cast, you got a free dice. You know? So the Slam Mage was just like boom, 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 boom. He was really, and if you get close to me, I'm going to take the charge on the chin with my Temple Guard, and then I'm going to countercharge you with Croxagors. Or I'm going to make you chase after skinks that are just going right at you with blowpipes. It's like, oh, look, what's that, a giant? He's dead. Oh God! Oh no! Oh, we're gonna run away from that giant. Now we got him. Now we got him surrounded. You know. Oh look, a chariot. I was a bastard with that army. You know, it's like so. And like it, hate it or not, you know, you come in with those chameleons, you'd have like 6 of those dudes, and they'd just be like, oh, we're BS4. There goes your war machine. Did you wrath and ruin us yet? I actually got those up next to a dwarf anvil, and he misstruck and trying to do a wrath and ruin to get rid of those guys, and did a couple. I think he did a couple wounds to himself, and then we put a bunch of 6+. We put a bunch of poisons on him. And he didn't make his saves, and we took out the anvil that way, and the guy rage quit. He's like, this is bullshit! But that was like 20 years ago. Just give me the fuck are they trying to keep out of that goddamn thing? All right, had an outburst. My hand got stuck in a box. Trying to reach down, get something to drink, and I couldn't get in. So another army I would do. Oh, what's up, Lacagos? How are you doing, man? I saw your video this morning. I'm deeply saddened. Guess it's just a time issue, huh, buddy? The other army, Tomb Kings with Colada, and then you could have like 2. You bring 2 Bone Giants and 4. And 2, what do you call it? Tomb Scorpions, and then the rest of your army's all just archers, and you keeping, and the whole army has arrows of the asp and is poison. Yeah, that's another bullshit army too. Another really good army comes out of the Storm of Chaos book. I think it's the Eshin Triad army. That was a really good one that only fights at night, and you had to roll an artillery dice to see how far you could see. So there's some broken shit in every game. It's just how do you deal with the broken. I think one page is kind of the way it needs to go. And then when it comes to like fixing 40K, I think putting things in as legacy factions, as doing things as legacy factions, that would work out a lot better, because in the lifespan of an edition, you only have so many working days that you can write books. And like, let's say I went to an Iron Maiden concert and they didn't play the Trooper. Well, I would go back to the ticket office and I would want my money back. So if I was playing 40K and they didn't write an Orcs Codex for that edition, I would want my money back. You are locked in to certain factions. So if you create a new range of models, a bunch of space hobbits and space dwarves that, I don't know, there's something off about you if you like squats. Just the way that they are and everything. If you're Leagues of Votann player, what the fuck is wrong with you? Dwarfs don't belong in space. End of story. All right? Now, if you're 50 years old, maybe I'll give you some leeway right there back when you were young in the 90s and playing these games. I would give you some leeway there. But, from a working day standpoint, you will not have enough time during those run of an edition. So why not pick 12 factions? Make everything else legacy and just say, here are the factions. You have Marines, of which there will be 3 factions that you can play from. Imperial Fists, Ultra, and Blood Angels. There you go. That's your 3 Marine factions that you get to play. Everything else in the Marines goes to Legacy. That means Dark Angels, Black Templar. Black Templar, they can be part of the Imperial Fist supplement within the Codex. You get 2 things for Black Templar. There you go. Death Watch. All these other Marine factions are gone. Finito. You get 3 Marine factions. You get a Chaos Codex. You get 4 pages for each god. There you go. 4 pages for each god. And then you have 1 page for Undivided. That's basically 5 for 1. It's a thick codex. Maybe charge Chaos players more. All right, so there's 2 books right there that you can actually publish. You get Orcs, you get Necrons, you get 1 type of Eldar, then you get Dark Eldar. All right, and all of their supplements have to be within that book. What's another faction? Okay, you have to have the Communist Tau. I understand that. They have to be there. Let's see here. Codex Demons. I can't think of any other factions that matter to me that you'd have to see here. Let's see here. Imperial Guard. And then I guess you put in Mechanicum. And let's see. So we're at 10 with just Mechanicum. I mean, that's a lot of writing. That's a lot of test playing, and you don't have the time to work your way through all of that stuff. So, unless you're willing to hire new talent and people who understand what the fuck they're doing from other countries, which is something Games Workshop has never and will never do. There you go. It has never and will never do. Yeah, back in the days when dinosaurs roamed the earth, squats were part of the game. Back when the Gen Xers still had to walk uphill for everything until the boomer great ones decided to invent the concept of downhill. Sisters? Yeah, no sisters. Women don't belong in the grimdark future of 40K. I guess you have to actually put in the psychic chapter of Sisters and what are they called? Grey Knights. But it's like it keeps going down. It's like no knights. Yeah, Imperial Knights should not be part of the game. You should be of like 1 book. It's called Chaos and Imperial Knights. It should be one codex, and it should literally cover both sides, and it's a one-time buy. I don't know the best way to patch it. I just know that you can't have close to 25 playable factions. It's never going to work out. All right, let me see if we're on track here. What else was I talking about? Second-hand army rescue for orcs, I guess, you know. If anybody's... So what are you guys all doing for your projects? For me, I kind of got sidetracked from Conquest back into painting orcs. And I finished up some knobs, and I guess I can showcase those now. But again, I was drinking coffee, so now I have to go to the bathroom. So I will be back in just a second, and then we'll start the next phase of this video. This is bullshit. All right, I need some Empire. Uh-oh, somebody's getting sidetracked by the video games. I understand that. I don't get sidetracked by video games. Video games, you know, I actually heard that. I can't remember who said it. It might have been Raging Golden Eagle, or it might have heard it on the TFM show. That that AAA gaming has gone into the shitter so much with all the woke bullshit, with all the ugly girls, all the transsexuals, you know, that there might not be another rendition of the Xbox or another rendition of the PlayStation. We're on the PlayStation 5. There might not be a PlayStation 6. What's the... Let me just go... I don't know what the latest Xbox is, actually. Okay, so you can get a Microsoft Xbox Series X. Okay, whatever that is. Yeah, I heard there might not be another Xbox or an X2 TB. There might not be another Xbox. And, you know, when I actually already noticed this when they went from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, I guess. You know, I mean, I kind of fell off of video gaming after Left 4 Dead 2 and Halo Reach. That's where I fell off the ladder. To me, Warhammer and painting miniatures was always just more important, more enjoyable. They were making fun of me this weekend. You couldn't. Maybe an airbrush might not be for me. You know. Oh, no, they were making fun of me not being able to use oil paints. Now, this is true. Oil paints can take up to 36 hours to dry. You'll never make it. And they're probably right. That's what they were making. Yeah, I would never make it. Oil paints. I would have to get one of those dryer boxes, which, yeah, that's not optimal. I don't know why anybody would paint miniatures with oil. Sure, it looks good, but there's no fucking point. There is zero fucking point to waiting 36 hours so you can varnish that shit so it will harden. No fucking point. Oh, Hussar General, I need some help with some list ideas for my Iron Warriors. So I know I'm not going to run Typhons. I'm going to run a squadron of super heavy tank destroyers instead. As cool as Typhons are, and as much as I want Typhons, the 24-inch range is bullshit on those things, but I like the look of the Typhon tank. So I'm going to use them as super heavy. I'm going to play some 30K next week, and I'm going to use them as super heavy tank destroyers, but let me just run over what I've got. I've got no Perturabo. I need to get Perturabo at some point. What's good for Iron Warriors? Do enamels suck? I don't know about enamels. I have never used enamels, except for when I was a little kid. I know enamels will go right onto a gray figure with no primer. Yeah, you have to keep sealing them. Otherwise, the paint reactivates. Well, you can run the Tyrant of Olympia, right? That's the Hammer of Olympia guy, and then you get the +1 strength to all your weapons for punching armor out. The issue with Iron Warriors is I've seen getting the anti-armor that's efficient. So let me shrink myself. We'll have to get rid of. You see, what men want in video games is we want our girls to look like Aka-chan. This is why I think it was. Hold on, let me see something here. Just gonna Google this real quick. Yeah, I want to play Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash for the Switch. Why not? Let me just see some images of that. And what do I see? I see busty anime girls with squirt guns. What's wrong with that? That's what men want. All right, we want the DOA girls with squirt guns. What was that? That was the Babe. They had. Okay, yeah. Hold on. That's exactly what we want. Yep, let's see here. We'll have to shrink myself, and we'll have to pull up display cap real quick. That's what men want. We want Kasumi from DOA. Notice how she's got this cute face, nice hair, and then you come down from the head, it gets a little bit bigger right around here, and then it gets little in the middle. And then you got a little bit of curvation right there. That's what we want the girls in video games to look like. I don't make the rules. But apparently they're still trying to convince men that big is beautiful. Kasumi is not big. That's a Chan. That's hard work. See, she's looking good for me. She does that just for me. That's what I identify with right there. It's not easy. Yep, yeah, what's the other? There's really, and then she had that, what do you call it? Dream when you beat her game. She's a big, we have to go up a little or down a little. Well, let me see here. Let's see if we get one of her face without me. Well, I'll just move myself, She's got that cute little face. There you go. That's what men want in video games. And apparently this is true to life. This can be done, It can be done. It can be done, but that's what men want to see. Why can't they give us this in video games? I don't know. Let's just see here. DOA girls. Yeah, there's not a single dog amongst them. Go over here, yeah. Everything looks to be in the right place. You know, they all kind of look like the Aka-chan. I guess I wasn't wrong. And I'll probably be called an incel for this. You're like, you're an incel that lives in your mother's basement. This is bullshit. You have unrealistic beauty standards. No, if you go to the third world, most women are, the first or second, if you go to any part of Asia, most of the women are thin. I don't know what happened in America. Can somebody tell me what happened in America? Oh, yeah, we're waiting for the fifth wave of feminism where it's the I don't have to wipe my ass properly movement. That's what we're waiting for. That's where women are going in the West. The I don't have to wipe my ass movement. My ass properly. Now, there was a wise man that comes into my feeds on the DM by the name of Kevin Samuels, and he had this video about how you need to wipe your ass properly. Take a shower once in a while. All right? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Why not Ayane? Yeah, that's pure energy, pure cuteness right there. There's nothing wrong with Ayane. Ayane, DOA. Oh, there's Ayane in a swimsuit. Look, you can get a PVC Ayane in a swimsuit. Now everything is right where it's supposed to be. Nice long leg. Yeah, there we go. She's even got fan art. There you go. That's good right there. And a lot of guys, you didn't know this, but, you know, I mean, the whole girl on the side there, on my side panel when I do the streams, that's called a pinup. You used to do these things called pin up a hot chick in your locker. I don't know if that's still a practice today or if you get in trouble at school for pinning up a girl in your locker. But if I had to pin up a girl in my locker, there would either be Elvira or Heather Locklear. You know, this is back when women were thin. And now that's what I'm waiting for. I am literally waiting for the I don't have to wipe my own ass properly movement. There you go. And now I'm somewhere, some way, somebody's going to call me the incel. Oh boy, like I've never been called the incel before. So threatening. Is that the best you got? Oh, and I live in my mom's basement, by the way. Did you know this? Whenever somebody insults me, whether it be girl or boy or some hater on YouTube, hate watchers know not to watch me because I'll spar with them and I'll serve them up a heaping helping of backbreaking, honorific insults. You know, might as well buy the Ayane. I put her next to the alarm clock. Yeah, do that. I should do that live right now. Yeah. Yeah, we can get any one of these would be good to go next to the alarm clock. Let's see what let's trade it out for Kasumi-chan. Hold on here. Might do a little e-shopping. Kasumi's even cuter. All right, yeah, why not? Got to have something to go next to the alarm clock, and at least you have. You know what? And at least you don't have to Photoshop a smile on her face. It's just sort of there, you know. Yeah, Kasumi she seems like the kind of girl that always seems to be happy. You know, like, this is why so many guys I think were crushing on Starfire, because Starfire and Teen Titans Go was always happy, kind of like what other girl was always happy was Betty Cooper from Archie comics. Betty is always happy, you know, whereas you don't know if Veronica's going to be on the rag. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I was supposed to be talking about orcs. Right up to the media and the journalists behind Western gaming, bro. Right up to the media and the journalists behind Western gaming. They're determined to fail. Oh, I got to go over here. Oh, don't get rid of myself. Get rid of display and turn this on. All right. Yeah, they're determined to fail. Let's see here. Yes, our PPs don't lie. That is true. Nobody wants a boner killer that can't wipe her ass properly. All right. Yes. But that's what I'm waiting for from American women. The "I don't have to wipe my ass properly" movement. That's all and once I think we get to that movement, men might find their dick and we might start slapping women again. No, bitch, go take a shower. That's disgusting. Go take a shower and shave. We have to lay down the law. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. I'm getting my what do you call it? Okay. Shit. Here we go. We gotta pin that. Can I pin that? I got a pin message. Message pinned. Maybe I can copy it now. There we go. Oh, I want to copy the message. All right. Let me just put this in notes real quick here. Let's see if I could come near that. I don't have any predators. Oh no. All right. Laser rapier battery ×3. Hack squads. Shatter bolters. Iron havocs. Leviathan dread. Tyrant termies. I do have 10 Terminators that I use as Tyrants are actually really good. They're just not as good as Kantankar Terminators in close combat. Tyrants are really good, though. My whole problem is I need to make some 4+ ward saves. Otherwise, I'm not going to have a successful game at all. Here we go. All right, there we go. I guess I can get into a little bit of painting. So, we did up the knobs. This is kind of what the first 5 look like. This is speed painting job right here. Nothing special about these guys. I know that they'll kind of be a selling point with the army. And this is why I don't try to make any money on knobs in 40K, is because these guys are just too numerous all over the internet. Blackreach was very successful. Got a boss there. They need a little bit of checkers. None of the normal orcs are going to have checkers. I'm not insane. Checkers aren't hard. It's just, you know, like these guys. Hell yeah. And that's kind of what I did last week, was paint up 5 knobs. 1 knob a night. That was about 45 minutes of paint time. Any gamer should be able to do that. One speed technique that I do is we'll just pile these guys up here. And because these guys are going to get done tonight, you've got to put the sticky goop on. Let's put some sticky goop on. And then I did the sticky goop, and I finished 4 the other night. So they're going to have they're going to paint their weapons red. I kind of like that. And then I'm just going to dry brush metal over them, which really works after you wash them. It looks like they were trying to polish up their weapons with paint and everything. I remember this guy, when I converted him, I thought I was being so cool. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this a-hole. This army has come back to me. Some of the elements of this army were originally mine. So I am going to sticky goop one of these guys real quick. This can be moved out over there. I notice if you give your metal instrument a lick, this stuff comes off. I did prime up the bases. Beforehand, but these ones were already partially painted, so that's why I'm moved to these, because I want to fill out the army in bulk. Nothing like a hangout stream. There. He might be ready by the time we're done polishing these guys up. I do like them on the 32mm bases. I fought that tooth and nail. I thought it was stupid, but that's okay. What's up, the Emperor of Mankind? How you doing? So for my Iron Warriors, you're saying I should run 3 Predators? Yeah, I was going to run Sakarans because I like the look of Sakarans, but I agree with you on the Predators. I should either run 3 Predators or 3 of those, what are they called? They're not, they have Demolisher cannons, and I can't think of their names right now. They have the bulldozers. I like they look like bulldozers with giant guns. I don't know. I don't know. I'm busy painting right now. I've got to sit down and think of something for a show. I might just do a year ender. I don't know. I've been pulled in too many directions, and then there's the holidays coming up, which means I will have time. If I have time to sit down, I might not, because next week Moana 2 comes out, and I've been paid to review that movie. So that'll be the next YouTube video, is a review of Moana 2. And you guys are going to find out what I think about Disney. I don't know. Maybe the movie will be good. I'm taking my niece to that one. Okay. So let's I like to base up the leather on these guys with dryad bark, because I did not get to paint the entire model gray to begin with. And you can also kind of base up the teeth too, real quick. Ooh, not that much. Don't flood it. And the problem is, nothing for the shows, nothing in the gaming world has really happened. I guess I could do an old hobby ramble and write up a ramble and see if I can do that. Let's see here. Hurry up and get this guy. We want to bring this guy home as quickly as possible. We're not going to do that strap. There's no point. Let's... Yeah, there's plenty of games I want to play, but I can't find enough players to play them. I'd like to play Hail Caesar, but there's really nobody around that plays it. I wouldn't mind picking up my goblins for Kings of War here and there. Nobody plays Kings of War. I mean, not that I need to play Kings of War anymore. I mean, I know that's kind of what my channel was known for back in the day. It's just that, you know, it's just, I don't know. There's better alternatives out. Conquest would be the big one, but at least I have a group that plays Conquest. Lord of the Rings was one, and that's why I ended up selling the collection. Bolt Action was another one. Sold that too. You know, I don't think that that 40K is necessarily that expensive, other than Meta Chase and new editions coming out. You know, if you had an army and you had and you worked your way up to about 5,000 points and you played and you're like, one game a week is good enough, and that was your hobby. I mean, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I mean, I will play one-page rules. I mean, at least I get to bring my stuff out. Play that. So I don't have an entire nearly 10,000 point orc army again going to waste. But like I watched an Orc Tactics video the other day, and somebody was actually talking, do you go this route? Do you bring the 6 kill rig army? The 6 kill rig army. I'm like, are you shitting me? 6 kill rigs. That won't drain your pocketbook. So when you're talking, and that's one of the bullshit things that go with 40K, is that they can't make items in the fucking in the actual armies. They can't flush out the items to make them all usable. Only certain things are ever usable, and that's the big turnoff right now. To collect, for me, the collector, that's the biggest turnoff. Is that I should be able to plug whatever I want in, and it should be usable. You can use it, but it's just going to get killed. It's the one bad part about the orc, is that you'll be forever and a day painting his leather straps. It's a little easier when, what do you call it? When you start them from scratch. This one I did not start from scratch. You'd fight my 10K orcs? That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Hell yeah, that'd be a good day of gaming right there. If 40K weren't a complete and total wash as a system, you know, that would take way too long with 10th edition. You know, it's kind of funny how we're sitting yet another edition of 40K out. And we sat out on 6. 6 sucked. I think 7 was good. It's just that they were unwilling to make things good for the orcs and tyranids. If you didn't have template weapons, you just weren't allowed to play the fucking game. You just were not allowed to play the fucking game at all. You know, and the way you could have fixed orcs would have been simple, okay? Number one, this needs to be, if you're writing an orc codex, this needs to be a universal special rule. Orcs always hit on 5s regardless of any and all modifiers. You cannot modify our ballistic skill to worse than a 5. All right? No more hitting on 6s. We always hit on 5s. That should have been an age-old thing from across the editions, from whatever, like 3rd edition all the way up until now, Orcs always hit on 5. 5 plus, no matter what. And then the things that they give us to destroy vehicles actually have to work. So tank busters, all right, we get a reroll to hit you. All right, we get a reroll to hit your vehicle. Okay, so now we're maxing it up. You know, I've got 10 tank busters. They're all firing a rocket. None of this bullshit now where somebody has to carry the rocket pistols and the tank hammer. So I'm only getting 3 rockets. They all get a rocket shot. I get a reroll to hit you. If you're a monster, Primarch, vehicle, all right, I get a reroll to hit you. And then my rockets are strength. If this were 30K, I'd say that the rockets need to be strength 9, AP 2. They just need to end something. All right? 7th edition, rockets need to be strength 9, AP 2. That wouldn't have been broken. That would have just ended a Marine's life right there. I do remember people bitching about when I would shoot rockets at them because I used to run a biker list with 3 tank buster units in trucks. You know, people would constantly underestimate how fast I am, and they would constantly underestimate what tank busters did. And I just like, oh, I've got my. They jump out their squad. I'd fire 2 units of tank busters at the squad of Marines, and like 7 of them would lay down dead because it's AP3. What? Yeah, it's AP3. Yeah, get them off. Get them off. Now it's just a character and like 2 dudes, and they were about to go and charge my boss squad on bike. But you know, just a lot of the Ork battle wagons in 7th edition were way too fucking expensive. They were pushing like 160 points, and they sucked. The weapons on them sucked. All right, the kill cannons. They should fire like. How about this? You give me a kill cannon that fires 6 shots that has that's strength 10 AP3. All right, it's strength 10 AP3 and it fires 6 shots, and I could buy a Grot gunner for it, and now I can compete at ranged. You know, the weapons that you use absolutely have to do something. Gonna hurry up and do his fingernails real quick. All right, this guy he's done. He just needs a little bit of flesh. What's up, CJ? Salvage up an army, and maybe I can make myself some money in the first part of the new year when I go to sell this. I have to brighten up the flesh a little bit on the arm to make sure that you know that he's wearing a glove. And you need to brighten up the flesh a little bit around the mouth. I'm not going to bother with that piercing right there. Okay. What we have left is what we can do to this guy's face. I actually have to train this brush now. I've got to go and, when I'm offline, I've got to go and buy a crap ton of size 4s and 5s because I am out of brushes. I have absolutely maxed out every brush I have. While I've got it out, yeah, I've maxed this thing out. This thing is so dead. Hurry up and do his arms and hands. So we're going to rescue these guys, and hopefully somebody who really wants to play an orc army will like it, you know. And that's another problem. It almost looks like here, you'll never finish your army. You'll never have a fully painted army if you're chasing the meta. You will they've made it that way, and they've done it deliberately. It's supposed to be about building a collection. Yes, you can play a lot of games, but I don't think that the game was meant to be played at the level that people are trying to competitively play Magic the Gathering. A card game is not a miniatures game. This requires a significant time investment that you can't compete with a card game, you know? Got that boss ship. Sorry. You always, when you do an orc squad, the first models you really want to get done are the knob and the special weapon because they're usually different from everybody else's, you know? And I still think that these Ork Boyz are kind of better than the new ones because they're a little bit, you know, I mean, whatever happened to just creating a monopose orc? You know, they have the power to do this, you know? You don't need to build all this bullshit. This is like this model's like 3 pieces. I think the gun is modeled onto him. And then I think that you just glue on the head and stick them on a base. So it's the body, head, base, 3 pieces. You know, now they've made it impossible with like, now the hand is like the arm is like in 6 pieces. Okay, this part of the forearm connects to these 3 it has these 3 fingers sticking out, and then you go up. You have to assemble you have the bicep assembly that goes onto the shoulder assembly. They've made it impossible to do any kind of kit bashing. You know, it's fucking bullshit. They don't give you any left hands. I mean, if I wanted to, I have a slugger that will go on this. I could clip this off and put another pistol in his hand if I wanted to. New orcs, you can't do that shit with them at all because of the way they're built. You know, good luck converting them. You're never going to be able to do it. Get our I've never played Apocalypse. I have never played Apocalypse. A 3K game for 20 minutes. Wow, that you know what? I should look into Apocalypse. And then you miss something like Apocalypse. That actually sounds pretty cool. A 3K game in 20 minutes. Oh, I'm doing good, CJ. All right, no worries. You have a good one. Oh, wait a minute. Catch up the course. Interested to hear your thoughts on OPR. Okay. Sorry. Was reading half of another comment. Okay, so OPR, one page rules. Duh. God, everybody has the. It takes. See that? It takes me a second. I think it's solid. Games Workshop made a huge mistake not hiring that guy. Again, they don't hire Americans. They don't hire Canadians. We actually went through this earlier in the stream. They don't hire anybody outside of the UK who doesn't come from Nottingham. And I don't know what the qualifications are to get a job at Games Workshop not working at one of the stores. If I had a degree in accounting, I could probably get a job at Games Workshop all day every day, and then when they want me to take a diversity and inclusion meeting, I'm like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." Especially if you're like a CPA or something, or you're a controller. Like when they have those kinds of meetings at my Asian Chad, Bo Yang Fan, my sparring partner. When they have those bullshit meetings, he doesn't go. He just sits in his office and does his thing. And the whole word to him is, "Oh, don't you go quitting on us now. Oh, did Karen give you shit about taking an extra ream of paper from the supply room? Did she give you shit about that? Yeah, don't worry. I'll deal with Karen. Don't you go quitting on us now." When you actually have a necessary, no bullshit job, you don't have to do DEI. Outside of being an accountant, I don't know how you get a job there. But I bet you they could hire the accountant to write the next edition if you explained it to them in 15 minutes, and it would probably be better than the shit we have now. So I noticed that when I play it, I know my special rules almost immediately just by remembering one fucking word, and then I know what their special rules are by remembering one fucking word. Ambush, Alpha Strike, got it. You're coming in. Unless I have Warning Cry, which keeps you an extra 12 inches, which keeps you from doing that to that unit, Or I have Shooty. I have Exploding Sixes when I shoot you. I have Furious. I have Exploding Sixes when I hit you. It's not hard to figure out. It's not convoluted. It's not worded in some shitty fucking paragraph. Yeah, good. It's S tier in that regard. Just avoid getting banned from stores. That's impossible for me. That guy who immediate. So good story. I went over to Gajo Games and I played a tournament. Played 8 hours there in a tournament. Nobody said shit to me. The owner didn't say shit to me. The no bullshit owner. And then the owner's youngest kid didn't say shit to me. Nobody said shit to me. Everything was fine. I go there to buy a paint. I was immediately banned on site. You're like, "You're banned. Get the fuck out of here. You're banned. You can't do that." And he turned flush white. And there were even people, and it was like totally out of context. It was completely out of context. I want you to imagine like the most out of context thing happening to a dude where you've even had people like, "We haven't seen this guy in years. Why is he banned?" "He's just banned. Don't question me. Shut the fuck up. He's banned. Get out of here." And I'm like, okay. I should have taken my chewing gum and just placed it there and said, "You." I always think of like the thing to do afterwards, or what I should have done was open up the pad of paint that I wanted and flicked it at him. But I was just like, okay, because it was more an embarrassing. It was one of those awkward things where somebody has a panic attack, and it's more embarrassing for the person having the panic attack. It's more embarrassing for that person. Like I wasn't like, I didn't have a fight or flight thing. It was like, you're being very awkward right now. Like when you see somebody, like it was like, okay, the best way to describe this guy's tantrum was it was like a child who's at the ATT store with their mother, and this is a teenage girl, and she's getting her phone service terminated. And the mother is making the daughter watch this, and the daughter is having a fucking panic attack. Like, this is some harsh consequences. That's what the panic was tantamount to. So, I mean, I guess you guys could go over to Gajo Games on Google and leave them a bad review courtesy of me, I guess. Bans gamers for no good reason, you know? Give them a 1-star review for me, I guess. I mean, might as well do that. I mean, if I'm going to have an influencer reach, I might as well use it. And then I went to another game store. I'm not banned from that one, but I was just picking up some quick supplies that I wasn't going to wait for on an eBay order for. If I order on eBay for paint, I order in bulk, and that's usually how I get a lot of my paints. And I'll go back to ordering in bulk. I don't need these fucking local stores. All right? I don't care. I literally don't care if I said something 7 years ago about black people and made a joke about passing them a basketball. That could have been what it's over. How do you keep 5 black guys from raping a white girl? You pass them a basketball. Do you know how old that joke is? Well, you're a racist and you need to be deplatformed and homeless. You can't say those kinds of things in current year. And when I had the last argument with my mother, and I said, when you say I can't say things like that, that's exactly why Donald Trump won the election. End of story. 3-pointer. It's good. Jordan wins the game at the buzzer. It's a half-court shot. That's exactly one reason. When you can't say that on television. That's exactly why Trump got elected in the first place. It's because we're sick of all your political correct bullshit. End of story. We're sick of your tantrums. We're sick of you. All right? Acting like a fucking child in an echo chamber. But yeah, it's just like, it was completely out of context. I have no idea what it's over at all. No idea. It could have been a black joke, or it could be he's the one dude and his 2 friends are the ones hate watching my channel. I'll take the hate watch traffic. That's fine. But I don't need the fucking what do you call it? I don't need the store. They don't need me. That's one store that doesn't need my money, but I will tell you something. The dad was a no bullshit hard worker throughout his life. That is prevalent in his mannerisms. This guy's had a real job. He built a business up online, opened up a store, it got big, and he's kind of built an empire. They make enough on 40K sales that it pays their rent. Anything else they take in, or they actually bought a location. Anything else they take in is butter. The people who are going to inherit Gajo are retards. I went to high school with the guy who banned me. He was a loser then. He's a loser now. End of story. My brother went to high school with the youngest brother. Same difference. I don't think that the youngest brother has ever worked a job that's given him insurance. End of story. He's never worked a job that's given him medical insurance. And he's 33. Let's see here. Yeah, I think he's 33 or 34 years old, and he's never worked a real job in his entire life. He's never significantly paid into Social Security his entire life. If that's the way you want to live your life, that's fine. But these are definitely the types of people that get told by the doctor, you've got to stop eating ice cream and cake, otherwise we're going to have to take your feet. And then when the day comes and they have to lose their feet because they got the sugar foots, they go, this is bullshit. And then they're sitting there in a wheelchair with no feet. That's the kind of people. They're one step away from being like that. Just do what, I mean, the younger ones use drugs his entire life, drinks, uses drugs, eats shitty food, and I don't think he's ever sat foot in a gym once. That's fine. You can do that. This is America. But the problem I have is I should not have to be on the hook for your fucking health care. If you want to destroy your body with drugs and shitty food, I should not have to pay for your health care. End of story. End of story. Done. Do whatever you want. I just don't need to be responsible for your disability check when you got the sugar foots and no feet. 3-pointer. It's good. Jordan wins. The Bulls win. The crowd goes wild. All right, where am I at? Oh yeah, if I wanted to come out as a lady, I could get a job there. Yeah, I could get a job there if I put a pink wig on and say you have to hire me. It's the law in the UK. Um, in a particular mold, yeah, but that mold is you're basically most of the employees are a fucking cashier. You're a cashier. You manage a store. You lick an envelope. You put the check in. You have a check book. If you even pay the bill for the light bill, I mean that's where it ends. And then you might have one employee. That doesn't really necessarily mean management type to me. Their managers of their stores are basically glorified cashiers. They turn on the lights in the morning, they enter a couple of things into the computer, and then at noon, I think the store opens. Wow, real fucking hard. And then you're there for 8 hours. And they will not pay overtime. They will not pay overtime because they're an out-of-state company, which is bullshit. An out-of-state. There's ways to get around having to pay overtime. That there is, which is bullshit. Hopefully Trump closes those up. Which would help working people. That's illegal. Okay, so I could go back and tell that fat piece of shit, fuck your mother, fuck your wife, fuck your dad, fuck them shoes. And guess what? My lawyer said, I actually have a couple of friends who are lawyers. I could go back there 3 more times before it becomes criminal trespass, but it's not worth my time to do that. They are kind of a store that's out of my way. If I absolutely need quick paints, I will literally go to Taylorsville and pick up what I need from the actual hobby store. They carry the whole Vallejo line if I absolutely need to get something. But from now on, I'm just going to plan bulk orders, and I'll buy things from New York. I'll buy things from California. I'll get a list of what paints I need. I'll type in one of those paints, and then I'll visit some seller's store on eBay, and my shipping will literally be like $5. There you go. Because you can bundle a bunch of these in a box together. So, I mean, I don't really care. Are my feelings hurt? No. There's really no one there that I know of that plays games. And I was banned after a 3-year hiatus of really going into stores because the Boomer Doomer virus that you're not allowed to mention on YouTube. I still have a strike on my record because I played the Alex Jones game. What do you call it? Basically killed me for game stores. Everybody wearing a mask was a fucking idiot. End of story. You don't know anything about biology. The moment I take off my mask to do this, I've contaminated the entire room because I have to exhale after I drink. And that exhale is instantaneous. I'm not getting my mask on fast enough. The moment I do that, mask is bullshit. All right? There you go. Done. End of story. Go read a 3rd grade science book, and they'll tell you that if you go into a classroom in a college, you are breathing up everyone who's been in there for up until like the 8th hour. That's how long it takes for all that shit to go to the ground. Probably get a strike for that because you have to dance around certain subjects on CrapTube. On CrapTube. Oh, deport them? Absolutely. Yes, there's going to be a lot of that. I can breach real closely on the subject. If Donald Trump does another thing, put it in the hands of the states at the border. Take it. Get rid of ICE. Get rid of ICE. Turn off ICE. Yes, I agree. Get rid of ICE and let Texas be in charge of their borders. Because if Texas fires shots across the border at Mexicans let's say they have a skirmish with the Sinaloa. Our federal government can literally take a wartime posture against Mexico, saying, deal with your own fucking criminals, or we'll deal with them for you. Which is one thing that Trump was trying to do before the election, was get Congress to pass an act to turn the cartels into terrorist organizations. That way you can drone strike them. That way you can kill them with impunity. Because if they're terrorists, they forfeit these things called human rights. What is UK learning a lesson in the different way? Yeah, I imagine that you see, I've talked about that store owner before, being this cool dude who's all about the hobby. He's always painting terrain, making sure that his store is the best, and then they fire him for some douchebag because that guy didn't sell enough of the new Combat Patrol. Yes, the company is full of dinks. Oh, I'm a master at getting people to strike me. I am. I go right to the throat because what one art that I think has been missed in modern day is the hurling of the insult. Hey, I mean, if you're going to take a fight stance with somebody, you start off with ugly son of a bitch. What's your mom up to? Because I'm looking to bust a nut tonight. And that's a prelude to a fight. That's a prelude to a fight. There's a fight about to happen once you bring busting a nut in someone's mother up there, or bringing in their wives. I've actually been in several scrapes at like warehouses where I bring a dude's wife into it and everything, and I'm like, well, he hit me first, and then I get the lecture, oh, you shouldn't have talked about his wife, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. He wants to go on calling me gay or incel or whatever. Everything's free game. Everything's free game. What are you going to do? Fire me? Send me to the unemployment line? Send me on vacation? I mean, it's November now. Send me on a vacation. I don't care. You always have to save it up for when they can't get out of it. Because people are more sympathetic at the unemployment office when you get fired in November. It's hilarious. I've never not lost a job and have not gotten and have been denied for unemployment, ever. But you need to know when. But that person that you're picking a fight with has already had to have crossed the Rubicon with you. And I think that's a big problem in polite society, is that we allow people to cross the Rubicon too much. We've allowed, especially if there's some blend of purple-haired, purple-pilled, power-bottom MF or whatever blend of float your boat, it pull you want to bring into it this week, we've allowed people to cross the Rubicon. There were things that you didn't do in the 90s that people do today that I'm surprised that they're not getting their asses kicked for, Like half my Instagram reels are just like black women flipping out about sauce at McDonald's, like losing their shit over not getting something in their order. Oh, you forgot my honey mustard, and they jump the counter, and one of the employees there knocks them down. When you jump a counter, yes, that's a fight. Fight's about to happen. Somebody throws a blender at you. For like the milkshake. Yeah, this woman this morning she threw a blender right at her dumb head because she was going to jump the counter. There you go. So that the moment you cross that barrier and somebody throws a blender at you, you're probably going to get fired, but you're probably not going to get criminally persecuted. But there's shit that there's the habitual line pushing that I've noticed in today. And you're either gonna come to blows, and you're gonna be done. In this state, it's mutual combat. If they throw back at you and you leave before the cops show up, it's been my experience most of the time, at least in all the bullshit things that I've done in my lifetime, that they never really follow up with the person that leaves. Yes, they take a report, and that's where it ends. But they always ask, well, was it a fight? Yes. And if the answer is yes, and it wasn't a massacre, they never really ever follow up because they have better things to do. There was a fight one time when I was really young with a friend of mine. He's not my friend anymore, but he was like a high school friend of mine, and he had moved out. And I beat up him and his cousin in their house because he wouldn't leave this girl alone. And so I was white knighting. And he was like trying to like, he kept trying to put his hand up her shirt and take her bra off at a party. And she told him like 3 times, and I'm like, dude, just knock it off. And he slapped me. So I punched him and knocked him out immediately. And then his cousin got up on me, knocked me down, got on me, and then he bit my hand right here. And then I got the cousin, I pushed him off of my hand. He was like a fucking zombie. I pushed him off of my hand, and then I started to go to town on him. And all the girls that were there were like having panic attacks and everything. And I had blood coming out of my left hand and everything. And I wailed on him for probably about 30 seconds because they were both like, they were little in terms of like stature and everything. And I was pretty jacked out just outside of high school. And then I got up, collected myself, wrapped up my hand in a paper towel and drove home. And cops never came to my door, even though the guy knew where I lived, knew my last name, gave him the whole spiel. And I guess whatever happened is that the girl there said what happened to the cops, and nothing ever came of it, you know. So I remember putting lemon juice on that because I didn't want to get an infection. Yeah, I put lemon juice on it, then I did peroxide, and I wrapped it up. But I had a bite mark in my hand from that son of a bitch, you know, so... You can't. The problem that we live in now is that you're crossing the Rubicon way too fucking much with people, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons is for the election of Donald Trump, because on MSNBC, CNN, the only one who seems to get it is that dude from the Young Turks who was mocking the guy about the keys to the White House and everything, and just told him to shut up. You don't know crap. Otherwise, he would have won. You said Kamala was going to win. Oh, Mr. Lichtman, I can't remember his name, and his 13 keys to the White House, you know? And they're just sitting there eating one another now that Trump's been elected. And hopefully Tom Hanks and what's his name, Stephen King, have moved out of this country. You know, and that's what I don't get. If you don't want to be in America and you're rich, leave. Go to Spain. Go to one of the pig countries where they'll tax you 60%. Oh, yeah, you're serving the migrants over the normal citizens. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's why they come. Another thing is that I hope Donald Trump turns off all their EBT cards. There you go. If you cut off the welfare, the third worlders will leave the country. If you cut off, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there in the UK. You cut off the welfare, they'll leave. And I think the only way the UK is going to save itself is that you guys need to have the same kind of financial collapse that's about to happen in Germany. You guys need to go through a bad financial collapse. We're going to go through a financial collapse. It's going to be bad in this country. I don't think that anybody in the Western world is going to starve, but we're going to. It will. The rioting that comes with that will put off this whole notion of Klaus Schwab says you will own nothing and you will be happy. And then when he comes around on his people chariot with his monocle, he'll be all like, Sinden sei glücklich, and you'll be like, Jawohl, mein Führer Klaus Schwab. I think the riots will basically put everybody on an equal standing again, because you will have to reboot the financial system. Do you go and you cancel people's debts on their houses? I don't know what that's going to entail. I really don't. But I know that we're in for some hard times, and I don't know if Donald Trump can turn what's about to happen on the market around. All right? I don't know if he can. If he saves us if we only enter a recession and he saves us year 3, it'll be because of a half-court shot. It'll be because of a half-court shot. But we have to cut the welfare off to the illegal migrants. That's basically the one thing there. Sorry, I'm trying to go through these questions here. Yeah, the counter jumpers are a thing on Instagram. Do not jump the counter at a McDonald's. I've seen one where like this big woman jumped over the counter at McDonald's, and she had the fry girl, and the checkout and the cashier girl on her, and they were just going to town on that tub of lard. They were swinging, and she was trying to swing, shaking her weight around and everything. They beat the crap out of her. And you got women flipping out over sauce. Yeah, they could have come after me, but it goes under mutual. We have some pretty decent mutual combat laws in this state where I live. So he just wouldn't lay. And this was about the fourth time, you know. And I had already told him after the second time, nah, you're being a creep, dude. You're being a creep. Stop trying to take her bra off. I mean, she was wearing, and she wasn't wearing anything like revealing. She had kind of like a big shirt on. It was a concert T-shirt. I don't remember what the concert T-shirt was, but he kept reaching up trying to unsnap her bra or pull her bra down the front of her shirt, and she just wasn't having it. And so after the fourth time, I decked him in the face and said, "Knock it off." I wasn't being a white knight. I mean, I guess I was, but nowadays I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I can honestly tell you that a while ago I was in the Kroger parking lot just getting my groceries, and I saw this dude tooling up his girlfriend a little bit in the parking lot. I looked at him, he looked at me, and I shrugged my shoulders and kind of gave him a look, proceed. Because you don't know if the woman's going to attack you for attacking him. That's the world we live in. So like today, I would never white knight for a woman, ever. Like I said, this was fairly recently. This happened this year. Saw a woman getting tooled up by her man in the parking lot. I think the guy was drunk on Listerine because that's what he was drinking. He was drinking yellow Listerine. And he was hitting his girlfriend. And I was like, okay, yeah, that happened. I didn't say shit, didn't call the cops, got my groceries, and minded my own business. Because the guy might pull a gun on you or something like that. Or the woman might stab you in the back when you beat the crap out of her dude. There you go. You don't know, and this is the big problem we have is you don't know who's a cracky, and they look like they were crackies. You don't want to get involved in the politics of the relationship of the crackheads. There you go. Oh, they're finding out that Hollywood celebrities are not welcome in the UK? Imagine that. You don't want Americans moving to the UK? God, go figure. I don't know if the whole migrant crisis thing is a way of getting, what do you call it? White people to move to other white countries. I really thought that the suicide of Europe was all about getting what's left of the white people there to move here. That was it. Yes, you should get a combat veteran status for working in the Waffle House. The Waffle House became a level in Tekken. Okay, this is a good one. Thank you, Francis. It would really require seizing all debt and issuing a new gold-backed currency. Yes, and that's going to hurt. That will hurt so bad. Really, you absolutely have to start restricting credit. No, you have a score in the 600s. You get nothing. You lose. Buy some things with saved money for a couple years and then come back and talk to me at the bank and we'll talk. And that's another thing. We need to restrict credit. I don't go into business for myself because, I think that any kind of store, any kind of brick and mortar store is going to start to fail. It's going to start to fail. Brick and mortars they're just doomed to fail at this point in time. I mean, you're working on the leisure and entertainment part of your business there. And where is she? Movie Chiron. And you're just you're not really going anywhere with it. So let's get to this last one. Yeah, or if you beat up a dude in the bra, you're going to get a hate crime for it. Puts a dude in. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that guy, that's why you don't defend it. You can't even defend yourself in New York. That piece of shit that got choked out on a subway was threatening everybody, being a piece of shit. And then you have laws that encourage you to be a piece of shit, or protective laws that encourage you to be a threatening, violent piece of shit. So it's like, okay, if that guy goes to jail, you need to move out of New York, because you have the people who live. And remember when we were all watching Tweaker Hunters? If you okay, so I did a Donald Trump 1 stream on Rumble. I suggest you check it out. We watched Tweaker Hunters, and we were just going around Phoenix, and there's all these druggies out there. One of them looked like he was dead, and if one of these people starts having a bad trip at a Waffle House and you got to take him down because he's literally choking a woman or something like that, but you accidentally kill him, you're going to jail? And the problem is all these white trash and migrants or whatever, these just ghetto people are getting ballots in November. That's a problem. That's a problem, because they'll vote for Arkham City. And that's the situation that New York and its 5 boroughs are going through today. Yeah, I mean, you might as well just let the guy tune up his woman once in a while. Maybe we won't have to go through the I don't have to wipe my own ass movement in America. Yeah, it's dangerous to go and respond to a domestic call. I think we would have to take back women's right to vote if we had to go back to a gold-backed system of currency, because I mean, I don't think I think women weren't allowed access to a credit card until like the end of the 70s. They wouldn't allow women to have credit cards, and women are really bad with household budgets in terms of like. So if I get my wallet out and I hand somebody some currency, and I have less currency, that actually has a psychological effect on your brain. Whereas if I just go start swiping up and down, up and down, up and down, you don't think about that as much. I only ever carry about $100 with me at any given time. And I buy my gas in cash. I buy a lot of... if I buy a coffee, I use cash. If I take myself out for a meal like I do every Friday, I use cash. So there's about $75 of cash that I spend every single week that's not going on my card. I did, except for this weekend, I went and I bought some pads from the boxing gym because, God, I had a bruise there. Me and Bo are kicking each other so hard holding the pads that we're getting purple bruises on our forearms from holding the pads. So I bought a set of thicker pads that we're going to use today to kick with. But women, they like I said, there's the 25-year-old girl that I dated, and she was no driver's license, no checking account. I just use Cash App and Venmo for everything. And I said, well, you're cute, but I think it's time we called this forever. I can't see you again. You need to grow up. You need a checking account. She did not even have a bank account. All of her currency was digital, and that's a very dangerous place to be in. That's a very dangerous world to be in, because I've already seen people in the UK get debanked for making fun of migrants, and that's not free. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But I mean, you guys are just going to have to peel the Band-Aid off, and I think you're going to go. I think the UK will go the way that Germany's starting to go pretty soon here. Pretty soon. I think you guys are gone. You guys have given your country away to the wrong people, and the wrong people are running your country, and your king is a pedophile. So, take that with a grain of salt. I think what you will have to do is you will have to find scions of Henry's family and put them in, maybe. Or scions of Richard the Lionheart's family, if any of them still exist, and put them in Buckingham Palace instead. Because maybe they might be a little bit more level-headed. But I don't know anything about European royalty. I know that, what's his name, gets paid to watch royals. I don't even think, Baxel, he's a royal watcher for a living. What kind of fucking job is that? Nothing against him, but, like, are you serious? He watches royals? He's an expert on royalty? Come on. You know, I don't know. You guys might have to find you know, I actually had a dream. This is kind of funny. I had a dream that I was found to be the last scion of King Arthur's family, and I got put on the throne. And I'm like, well, who's in charge now, bitch? And I dissolved the rump. I dissolved Parliament, and I was using all the same lines that Raymond Harris was using in Cromwell. Get them up, get them out of here. And I put and you had all these migrants on boats getting kicked out at gunpoint along with Parliament. You can sail to the New World if you want, but you can't stay here. That's where the dream ended. I watched that movie Cromwell way too many times, so I dream about it, where he dissolves the rump. Colonel Harbison, get them out of here. Get them all up. Away with this bauble. You guys are going to have to find another Cromwell. That's all I can say. If I had an enormous amount of FU money, I would buy GW. I would take the company private. If I had Elon Musk dollars, that's, you know, if I was like a new, because the company itself is barely worth $1 billion. You got to think that the company isn't worth that much. It's just IPs. And it's not worth, I mean, the CFO sold 2/3 of her shares and couldn't even make $1 million. She couldn't even make $1 million. But the problem is, I don't think that BlackRock would sell the shares. BlackRock won't sell the shares, you know. So that would never happen. But I would try to become the 51% share owner in the company. Buy a lot of people out, become the 51% share owner, and then make some major changes. Go through the office, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, and fuck you, you're out. Nah, I wouldn't even worry about that shit. Fuck GW, I wouldn't even buy it. If I had fuck you money and this were a few years ago before Phil, what's his name? God, I can't remember the last brother. Oh, Vinnie Paul. Yep. Was it Vinnie Paul? I think it was. Yeah, it was Vinnie Paul. Sorry. It was Vinnie Paul. If Vinnie Paul were still alive and I had fuck you dollars, I would pay for a private Pantera concert. So the lineup to replace Dimebag Darrell would be Zach Wilde. So it would be Vinnie Paul, Zach Wilde, Rex Brown, Philip H. Anselmo, and that's all you need. That's the entire lineup right there. I would pay for a private Pantera concert. And, yep, they would play just for me. Or I would, I don't know. That's about it. That would be pretty cool. Private Pantera concert. One time only. And they arrested Tommy Robinson on some other bullshit too. Anyway, we've been digressing. Yes, away with this bauble. I watch that movie way too much, and I dream about fixing the UK problems by dissolving the rump. You're not even from this country, and I'm kicking the Indian Prime Minister out, even though he might be. I don't even think he's related to the Sikhs. that were granted citizenship after World War One. I think he's newly minted, maybe second generation Indian family. I'm going to leave the chat open. Is one of the prime ministers was Indian, and he's like a second generation. I know that a lot of Sikh Indians were granted citizenship after the First World War, or they were allowed to go to Canada, or some of them were allowed to go to Australia. They were allowed to move out of India to go to the Commonwealth countries for serving. But I don't even think that guy's related to those people, and those people tend to be more British than the migrants, and they probably don't like the migrants either. They probably don't like all this, we gotta celebrate our differences bullshit. I'm going to wait for that, see if somebody answers. Current Prime Minister of England. Oh, it's Keir Starmer. It changes quick. Prior. Where's an Indian dude? Yeah, it was Hon Rishi Sunak or whatever. Yeah, let me see here. Oh no, he looked. No, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say he's too. He's definitely of the higher caste. Some white person fucked along his family line. So he's probably, yeah. So I couldn't, like I said, I didn't know. I just by the look of him, he's somewhat anglicized. He does not look like your standard Indian. So that means he probably had British parents, or grandparents. Yeah, okay. So Punjab descendancy, isn't that where the Sikhs come from? Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna bet that he was what do you call it? He's yeah. I can't knock him. I wasn't completely sure. I just heard the name in passing because you watch the news, you pick up things. But yeah, his parents served in the empire. His somewhere along his family lines, great grandfather probably fought in the First World War. Might have served time in Kenya during the First World War. So they get a lot. I mean, you can't knock that. That's a reward for serving the empire. So those people have been there for almost 100 years. I mean, they're as British as. If you've ever seen the movie Flight of the Wild Geese or whatever it is, you have a white man telling an African man, "I'm as African as you are. My great grandparents were born here. I was born here, and I'm going to die here." And sure enough, he was right. That was part of the plot. But that's actually another good movie with what's his name? Roger Moore was in that. Pretty good film there. And they start their basic training as a mercenary unit to get an African politician back across the border. And they go through this barracks and they gas a whole bunch of Simbas. That's what they call the enemy soldiers. Don't let those Simbas get a hold of me. And he has to shoot his friend. Really good movie, Flight of the Wild Geese. But I've been digressing a little too long. We've gone past the pale of 2 hours. Somebody got me talking. Most original people come from the countries that fought for us. And yes, they respected the country. India would not be where it is today as a world player on the stage if it was not for the UK. Absolutely, CJ. I don't think anything's going to happen. I do think that Russia sent a clear message with that missile of theirs. Mess with us, and I don't think they even... okay, so they tested that MERS missile, that intermediate long-range missile that they have that split into 32, 20 or 30 fragmented missiles, and it just with the kinetic energy alone, I don't think they even used high explosive warheads. They fucked some shit up in Ukraine. I don't think that they're going to start a war. Alex Jones seems to think so. That they're going to start a war so that Trump can't unfuck this when he takes office. I don't think they're going to do that. Simply because what are we going to fight the war with? We're broke. They know we're broke. And one of the whole reasons for the tariffs in the first place was to bring some of the widget making back to the United States, because if China sanctions us for going to war with Russia and Ukraine, if they sanction us, they can legitimately make us beg for mercy to help out their allies. They don't even all they have to do is not send the ships. All they have to do is just send the cargo elsewhere and give it away to India or something. Or they'll make India buy it, and then we'll pay 4 times the price for it to get it from India. India will buy it and they'll turn a profit, just like Europe in their oil. They can sanction us. So I don't know. I don't think that they're going to... I don't think we're going to go to World War III. I think that cooler heads will prevail. Because, again, we don't have enough soldiers in America either. We can't make our... now, if Trump won because it's a carve-out to try to get white Americans to fight, white Americans aren't even fit enough to fight in our own goddamn army. 70%, it's like 80% of our young people are either on head meds or are too fat, 18 to 24, to join our own army. And I always tell young kids around work, young kids that I know around the boxing gym, do not join the army. Why not? Just don't. Because they're trying to go to war. They want to go to war. Do not join. Even if Trump is in office, don't join the army. If you're between the ages of 18 and 24 and you're somewhat good shape, shoot yourself in the foot. There you go. That's all I'm going to say. Shoot yourself in the foot. Do not give them soldiers to feed the military-industrial complex. In my lifetime, knowing what I know, I don't want to see another Somme. I don't want to see a Stalingrad. I don't want to see a Nagasaki or a Hiroshima, and I damn sure don't want to see a Verdun. I do not want to see another Verdun. So, just like I said, it's not worth it. It's not worth the skills that you get at this point in time. I mean, we need to be not building bases in other parts of the country, and we're doing it. We're building bases in Poland. Like, fuck you. How many? Yeah, and that pisses me off. The only bases that should exist in Europe is one base in the UK, one base in Germany. Fuck everywhere else. End of story. I'm sorry if you're from one of those countries. It's none of our business. My grandparents fought a war so that it would be none of my business. And that's the way I look at Europe. If you guys want to demilitarize, deindustrialize, and let Russia rape you, that's on you. Russia is none of my business. End of story. And it would get along great if we told them that. Hey, Putin, it's none of our business. We're over here, you're over there. We'll call you if Canada tries to get froggy. There you go. Which they wouldn't, because we would probably bitch slap them. And their army's even woker than ours. So, you take that with a grain of salt. As far as the other bases around the world, one rather sizable naval base on the west side of Africa, one in South Africa, one up near the Red Sea to keep the shipping lanes open. One in the Indian Ocean, one in Japan, one in Taipei, one in Okinawa, and one in South Korea, and then the one in Hawaii. That's it. That's as many bases as we should have. We should pull out of the Middle East entirely. And, it's like another... God, I just can't stop talking now. Another problem that we have here in America is, like, we have oil companies that are excited that because Trump's in office, we get to build refineries in Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck should we be excited that we get to build oil refineries in Saudi Arabia? We should be building these oil refineries in states like mine across America, and the power plants to fuel the oil refineries. You know, how is that a thing? Like, fuck deindustrialization. I don't give a fuck about the climate. I really don't. I don't care if it's 2 degrees hotter in the summer, and I damn sure don't give a shit if it's 2 degrees colder in the summer. I mean, in the winter. You know? Like, fuck you. That's what our companies have to look forward to under Trump. I don't think he can unfuck it. But it's a good middle finger to the establishment, the mono party. It really is. And it's a good middle finger to CNN and the liberal media. The Wild Geese is a good movie. If you didn't like it, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not the best movie ever, but it's a good movie. They had a lot. South Africa was in the spotlight, and they did. There were a lot of white people. The South African colony goes back like 400 years. The white people that live there are as African as anybody else. All right. Now, granted, they're not munching on bones and putting them through their noses. And, they remember how to farm, but they're African. They are not European. They have their own dialects. They have their own mannerisms. They have their own culture. All right? They're a different breed of white people that just so happen to be African. End of story. Press gangs wouldn't go over very well in America. Too many people are armed. Too many people, let's say you got a couple of kids who are just piecing on the block and you have a press gang that comes and tries to take them away, and then Jerome pulls out his piece and starts shooting back at the press gang. Because who are we going to draft? It's going to be the poor people. Inner city blacks, they're not going to fight for you. They're not going to fight. You're going to have to press them. White kids, they're going to be told not by their parents and people like me not to join the army. I don't want to see. You know what? If I live to be 80 and I die at 80 and I don't live seeing a third world war or another Verdun, I'll call it a good life. And the petrodollar isn't going to be the all. Biden already fucked that up when he started to sanction Russia and take assets away from Russia. You're not supposed to do that when you're the world reserve currency. You're not supposed to starve a country for dollars. You're supposed to leave their assets safe. Otherwise, they might create a BRICS system that might supplant you or cause competition. Which, if we lose our status as a world reserve currency, all those dollars are going to flood back here, and you'll get your welfare check, and it won't even buy you a loaf of bread. I'll have to watch that. What is it? Christopher Walken is hilarious, by the way. When he gets abducted by aliens, like, what the fuck? And Tom Bregger, what is it's called? Dogs of War. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, this is about where I'm going to leave it. I've been going for 2 minutes, almost 20 minutes. 2 hours and 20 minutes here. So I'm glad you all showed up today. Glad the sound quality was good. I'm going to knock on wood for that. And we'll maybe see you in a live stream, because I doubt after Thanksgiving I'll have anything better to do. And in case I don't see you, keep playing, keep painting, stay metal, my friends. And hopefully we don't have to see World War III. And hopefully the what do you call it? The I don't have the female I don't have to wipe my own ass movement doesn't become a real thing. Be sure to share clips of this video to your friends. A share really does go a long way. Make some Instagram reels and put me in the shorts. And we'll see you in the next one. Stay metal, my friends.